Hey, what's up everybody? Commander Radix here, bringing you another episode of Transformers Lore. Today, I would like to cover the planet of Gigantion, a world that exists in many continuities, usually serving as a colony world of the Cybertronians, and as the home to massive Transformers like RX Metroplex. How did this planet become colonized by the Cybertronians, and what is it doing locked away between universes? But before we get into the main topic of this video, I'd like to mention that nearly 80% of you watching are not subscribed to the channel yet. If you like what you see in the video and want to see more that Transformers Lore has to offer, please consider subscribing. It'll help the channel grow, and it's a great free way to support me and video production on the channel. And hey, you can always unsubscribe later if you change your mind. But with that out of the way, let's jump into today's topic. Universe RX 802.23 Alpha, though this can also apply to RX 103.10 Alpha. In the deep, remote past, there was once a planet that existed in what was known as the Skeleton Nebula, around 5,000 light-years away from the planet Cybertron. Nevertheless, a group of Cybertronians made their way to the planet on the ship known as the Lemuria. See, in this universe, the descendants of the 13, including the Autobots, Decepticons, and Minicons, lived in peace, and Primus had selected this reality to entrust the Omega Lock and the Cyber Planet Keys, devices of power meant to awaken him if it was ever necessary for the grand plan. With such power, the Cybertronians began to colonize the galaxy. This is what brought the Cybertronians to the planet that would become known as Gigantion. However, in time, Cybertron would lose contact with its colonies, and Gigantion, complete with the Lemuria and its Cyberplanet key power source, was left on its own. Things were further complicated, with Gigantion falling under attack from a planet from outside its universe, a planet known as Planet X, which dragged Gigantion into a pocket universe to wage war and to conquer the planet. Now, the origins of Planet X is complicated and something I've discussed in part in my Sideways videos, but Planet X definitely needs a video to itself. Regardless, the inhabitants of Gigantion had difficulty fighting their enemies from beyond their reality, and decided to unlock the power of the Cyber Planet Key with them. The key supersized Gigantion, both the planet and most of its inhabitants, although notably not the Minicons of Gigantion. With this sudden burst of power originating from Primus's power itself, Gigantion was able to best Planet X. However, though the war had been won, there was a cost. Gigantion found itself stuck outside of its home dimension, connected to its original universe only by a wormhole that was open on select days out of the year. In complete isolation, Gigantion developed a very unique culture that was focused on industrialization and development. The massive inhabitants of Gigantion created a culture of building cities, with the Minicons serving a support role in the finer details of construction. Gigantionites decided to ignore their old cities and to always move somewhere else to build, even erasing knowledge of cities that were complete. As a result, Gigantion constantly was under construction, with new cities being built on top of older cities. The natural core of the planet left forgotten, despite housing the Lemuria and the Cyber Planet Key that the inhabitants could still call upon for power. Gigantion seems to have developed some sort of space capability, as the Recon Minicon team and Safeguard were playing hide-and-seek on a Gigantion ship that was launched, resulting in the group becoming lost and discovered by Vector Prime of the 13. Nevertheless, Gigantion continued to live in isolation, at least until 2030 CE, or 2026 depending on the continuity. During the Unicron Singularity Crisis, Cybertronians from Cybertron and other lost colonies, as well as some Earth humans and Vector Prime, arrived on Gigantion in search of the Cyber Planet Key. These new visitors came on the Atlantis and the Ogygia. The Decepticons, under Megatron, also arrived, in addition to Sideways and Soundwave, servants of Unicron. The once isolated Gigantion found itself a host to different factions and species as battle broke out on the planet over the Key. The Gigantion campaign saw many important events, like the transformation of Megatron into Galvatron for the third time. In the end, Gigantion's leader, Metroplex, decided to fall in under Optimus Prime's Autobots to help save the universe from the Unicron singularity, though some Gigantion citizens like Menasor collaborated with the Decepticons for a limited time. Ultimately, Vector Prime would give up his material form in order to warp time and allow the Autobots to move out of the pocket dimension housing Gigantion. When the Unicron Singularity Crisis came to an end, Metroplex would become the diplomatic representative from Gigantion to the rest of the universe, linking Gigantion and Cybertron once again. That being said, there are a few other Gigantions in the multiverse that we know of. In Malgus 1207.26 Alpha, Gigantion was in the Skeleton Nebula in the Autobot Commonwealth, and was the site of the Pangea Wars during the Great War, a conflict that presumably ended in Autobot victory. In Uniend 911.05 Alpha, Gigantion was a colony of Cybertron during the Golden Age, a period that lasted 8,000 years until the outbreak of the Rust Plague caused the space bridges to be severed, and Gigantion was left isolated to an unknown fate. In Primix 215.19 Epsilon, the world of Beast Wars Uprising, Gigantion was a Cybertronian colony, and, following the scouring of Nebulos, the Human Confederacy forced the Cybertronians into a region of space known as the Allowed Zone, which included Gigantion. It appears that Gigantion of this universe was also an industrial powerhouse, as Autobots and Decepticons fought over this planet for such a power. And that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I do videos on a range of topics that includes history and Transformers, so if you're a nerd who likes nerdy things, consider subscribing to the channel. As I said before, nearly 80% of you haven't subscribed yet. It's free and you can always unsubscribe later. Don't forget to check out all my social media links in the description to see what's going on with me. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.